Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 2 versus 2 ranked game that was sent in to me, and in this one we're going to be seeing on the Allies side Humulus and Sonderkommando, who are going to be playing the 6th Airborne and 3rd Canadian Infantry, and on the Axis side we have Thomas Spieler and Azar, who are going to be playing with the 12th SS Panzer and 17th SS Panzer Grenadier. So, I'm not going to tell you who sent in this one, just to keep things exciting, as we are in for a cracking game, and I'll reveal at the end exactly who it was, and of course thank them for doing so. Right, in the meantime, let's have a look at this map. We are on Cheux, so it's quite an open one. Generally, I would say Axis favoured, but I would say there are plenty of ways that the Allies can win. So let's just talk through the divisions we have and how they suit this map. So first of all, in the bottom left, it looks like we're going to be having Humulus with his 6th Airborne pushing for the town, which makes sense. He has airborne paras, he has airborne Bren group, he will have mortars and off-map artillery. So taking this town should be quite easy, honestly, for a 6th Airborne player, especially if he's up against the 17th SS, which it looks like he will be. 17th SS player will be using probably Stosstroop to try and push the 6th Airborne out. We'll have to see how that actually turns out. Meanwhile, in the top side, we're going to be seeing the Canadians take on the 12th SS Panzer Division, and that's also a pretty interesting matchup because the Canadians can field the Ram early on, but then again, the 12th SS Panzer can bring in the Firefly. So, we'll have to wait and see if that engagement occurs, and if it does, who comes out on top, because a Ram can still kill a Firefly, just has a much lower chance than the Firefly has to kill a Ram. Also, I guess, like a Ram struggles against the AT guns of a 12th SS Panzer, or as actually it does pretty decently, honestly, because it only has 12 armor, whereas the AP value of the AT guns on the 12th SS is only 10, I think, in the early phases. But yeah, I'm looking for the 6th Airborne player to push an advantage in the town early on, use their mosquitoes to gain an advantage, and then they want to solidify that advantage moving towards phase B and get quite far into the opposite side of the map, so that in phase B and C they have plenty of like cushioning to allow them to sort of fall back on themselves and maintain a lead whilst doing so. Otherwise, what will happen is if they don't take enough ground, is moving into phase B and C, the 6th Airborne player will fall off a lot and will likely get overrun by the combination of the 12th SS Panzer and the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier. So it's going to be really up to Humulus in a lot of ways to work out how he's going to do this. Starting off with quite a lot of infantry for the town by the looks of things, and we are seeing a couple of units here, starting with Humulus from Sonderkommando, so it looks like they're going to be working together. Both players bringing out planes at the start of the game as well. Spitfire Mark 9 accompanying the Mosquito Pathfinders. It drops napalm onto the road there in front of the town. Also, Storch going to be going down. Looks like Azar brought that in to find out what he was up against. So ideally here you want to make sure that your units are going to fast move past the flames, because he dropped that really far up, so you could easily dodge that, but it doesn't look like he's going to. Azar actually driving straight into it. I don't know why he's doing this, but it's going to cost him. He hasn't changed his orders. Maybe he's focusing on unloading in the top side, didn't notice this happen. Maybe he didn't notice the flames come down, depending on the angle of your camera. Might be hidden by the tree line, but he's going to pay for that. Panzerschreck squads being burnt alive and are both going to go down. I think the Panzergrenadier are going to die as well. These guys need to be falling back ASAP or they are going to die. It's quite simple. Flames do not work well with flesh. And yeah, there goes the Panzergrenadier. Both Panzerfaust squads are dead, or Panzerschreck squads, and the Panzergrenadier, or the Panzergrens, are just down to like 3 health, 4 health, 9 health, and the flames go out. Saved by the napalm running out of fuel. Yeah. Okay, so that's not an ideal start there for Azar. He's lost the majority of his infantry that was going to contest the town, and now Humulus has that under his control. Now, I'm not sure if Humulus saw this happen. No, I don't think he did. So we won't know entirely what's up. But no infantry has really come anywhere near the town, and he can tell that by the way that the front line is pushed forwards over here. Now I would expect him to get this Mosquito Pathfinder off the map so that it can reload its bombs there. You need to reload those ASAP. But yeah, I'm really confused here why Assar didn't notice that sooner and didn't sort out his troops. A lot of his troops on the bottom side there just dying for free. So now Humulus needs to push up, and it looks like he is doing so slightly, but he really needs like a mortar to just like smoke these guys off and then continue pushing. And this is like the prime time for these airborne paras to be making a lot of ground towards these Panzer Grenadiers, because these Panzer Grenadiers are really low on health. You know, there's only 3 men left, 4 men left, 3 men left, and a Panzergrenadier, he could run through that so easy if he had like a mortar, for example. And it won't take long to find out, but there's no recon here either, actually, pointing that out. Pathfinder's all the way back here with the Vickers HMG. Again, these units could be moving up to this compound because the front line's not even anywhere near it. I kind of feel like Humulus is giving away a lot of time to Assar to sort himself out, because currently Assar's in a very, very bad position here if he was pressed upon. In the top side, we are seeing a small engagement. 222 taking on the Humber Mark III alongside the Boiter Cromwell. That's going to go down. Panzer Grenadiers taking on some scouts there who also aren't going to live very long thanks to the MG42s. So Thomas Spieler doing well for his team in the top side, but currently Allied favoured, +1, 52% territory for the Allies. Humulus needs to get these troops forwards. Sonderkommando needs to start dealing with these lighter vehicles as well. He needs to get an AT gun up to deal with the 222 and the Boiter Cromwell. I feel like some early engagements here really led to Thomas gaining an advantage on the top side while we were checking out the bottom side. I saw bringing up a Storch. Looks like a carrier is going to be going down in the middle there, and that's going to push a massive hole in the front line. Look at the territory change. Oh, that might actually put the Axis side in a +1 if that continues to stretch in, which I think it will, because there's literally nothing here to stop this front line from moving. And as long as these Panzer Grenadiers continue to push forwards, it's just going to push that hole forwards, that salient in the front line. So let's have a look at from Assar's point of view, and we'll see what he can see. He can see the ram coming up the road, so I would expect Thomas Spieler to start saving up for his Firefly, because it's pretty much the only thing he has to deal with the rams this early on. There's also Staghound AA coming up from Sonder. Let's go back to the neutral perspective, and we'll see what else is on the way. AT gun for the centre. More reinforcements coming into the town at the bottom side. Looks like Assar has brought in a couple of IG-18s here to defend against anything that tries to push out. So there is a 3-inch mortar on the case. That could use smoke ammunition to still get the units very close to the IG-18s and the Panzer Grenadiers. Why he's not pushing up, I do not know. You can tell how far people are back by the distance from your units to the front line. So for example, this Pack 38, distance to the front line, is exactly the same as the airborne paras to the distance to the front line. If it was like, if that airborne para pushed up, this line would probably move to about here, and then he would know there's something in this tree line. That's something that you've got to be aware of while you're playing Steel Division, specifically because of the front line system. Spitfire Mark 9 is going to come in there, take down a Storch. So that's going to be going down, but some valuable information gained. Ram 2, Staghound AA, 6-pounder I think was spotted as well. Stormtroopers there getting pinned down in the open by the Panzer Grenadiers, and most likely are going to get killed off. 222 taking on the 6-pounder there, should be able to pin it down before it fires a second shot, if it can get on target, that is. Wow, that was lucky. A almost fully stunned up 6-pounder hitting its shot onto the 222 there. Pretty incredible. So now we're going to be seeing the Panzer Grens finish off these scouts, and there's also another unit of infantry coming up from Thomas. A big train of 259s and the 222 coming up. They've got to be very careful of the Ram 2, however, as that would very much demolish the 259s. So that's a lot of points invested. Sorry about the camera there. A lot of points invested into these half tracks, and yeah, he's not going to be able to use them too effectively if he's not very careful. Mosquito Pathfinder coming in. That's actually going to be landing napalm next to the Panzer Grenadiers, but not doing too much damage. Panzer II is going to be able to get out of that just fine. Goodbye to the scouts in the centre, and the Panzerguns taking up position. Pack 75mm being brought in by Humulus, probably to help out with the 222. It's getting range onto that, so that's fine. And, well, it looks like Hussar's just having so much time to build up defences outside this town, when, in all honesty, these airborne paras should have slaughtered all of these men already, in my opinion anyway. Using smoke to get close to them, it could easily get into these tree lines and continue pushing towards his opponent. And like I was saying early on, you really need a big buffer as a 6th Airborne moving into Phase B and C, where your power really falls off. So using your power in Phase A is extremely important, and at the moment, I don't feel like he is doing so. Like, again, bring that Mosquito Strike that he used on the top side down to the bottom side. Just Mosquito the tree line, and then he'll know that there's nothing there after he moves in. And if there is, it'll most likely get spotted by any recon he should have, which he doesn't. And I think if he did have some recon here, then he could definitely get the mortar to fire at least on these IG-18s and be confident enough to move forwards. But at the moment, just recon in the mid, spotting some Panzer Grenadiers, Pack 38s. If we go to Humulus's point of view, you can see the IG-18, you can see the Panzer Grenadiers, you can see the IG and Pack 38 here. And seeing that many IGs and packs in the middle should tell you that there's not too much going on down the bottom side of the map. Either way, Thomas Spiller going to be opening up on 2 rifles there with his Panzer Grenadiers, but these Staghound AAs can be very effective, and as you can see on the top side, Staghound AA is actually pinning down at Pack 38 as it falls back. That Staghound AA also pinning down these Panzer Grenadiers, 259s though, dealing with the rifles in the open now. We have some recon coming up for Hussar to help out. And let's have a look at just positions in general, because at the moment both sides working very well together. We see like a concentration of units from Humulus in the bottom side that aren't really doing too much, but he's bringing units up to the top side as well to help out with the Sonderkommando here, because he is being pushed back pretty hard. And then Sonderkommando, he's again got units spread across the whole front, so it's nice to see the units overlapping. On the Axis side of things, it's a bit more cut and dry. You got a halfway line here. Hussar's taking the bottom side. Spieler's taking the top side. And we see some Panzer Grenadiers and Spear Troop all the way up here from Hussar. They're just supporting this Pack 38 and Spear Troop up there. So let's go back to the neutral perspective. We do have our Firefly coming in, and that should be engaging this ram very soon. Pack 38, however, is back on target. Needs to really focus on the Staghound AA, honestly, but the Staghound AA has other targets at the moment. Wow, there we go. Nice shot into that Staghound, straight on target, takes out that 2-star Staghound AA. It was assisted by the Dingo, it wasn't just 2 stars naturally. Actually, I think it was 2 stars naturally. Wow. And now the Ram 2 here, likely to be forced to fall back. It's being moved out of the way. And side shot, Pack 38 gets the Ram 2 kill as well. That Pack 38 has certainly paid itself off. This Staghound AA, bit delayed on that side, probably could have pushed round and saved that Ram 2. So the Pack 38 does the Firefly's job because of a bit of micromanagement from Sonder there. Ram 2 goes down for free, pretty much. Crazy start. Still +1 favour of the Allies. They're ticking up to 420 points, I think, just because at this bottom side, I think the 6th Airborne is completely over 50%, so even more reinforcements coming down into this town. This is getting pretty ridiculous now. Why haven't you pushed out? You've got the 3-inch mortar here. Could easily push on to these guys. Just bringing in a second mortar. And you could push across the open there, just covered by smoke. Get your supply there. You've already got the supply there. Humulus with his supply jeep, just constantly resupply the smoke shells, just smoke everything, and yeah, you'd be free to move forwards. Either way, Command Tetrarch here, being engaged by the Pack 38, is gonna be forced to fall back. Gets behind the tree line just in time. Universal Carrier taking on some Panzer Grenadiers there, which are in a very sticky spot. I think they were also engaged by the Staghound AA, but the Pack there in the middle also firing upon them. So, looks like the Axis have some work to do. They need to at least get this back to 50-50 to stop bleeding points, and then they can carry on into Phase B and C. Here we see some scouts taking on this Pack 38. I'm more worried about the stormtroopers getting into range though, as they will instantly kill the Pack 38 there. Machine gun firing away from the boy to Firefly. Might be able to pick off the stormtroopers there if they're lucky. No, the stormtroopers go back into cover in time. So a Wasp here, being used quite nicely to just make sure that anything that comes through the tree line gets destroyed basically. The Recce are watching that tree line quite nicely. One shot there from the boy to Firefly though takes out an M10 and another tank going down. Wow. Sonderkommando's not having the best time here. Moving into phase B, his Wolverines are the best AA, or AT, sorry, that he can get his hands on as the Canadians. The Canadians do suffer for AT in phase B, which might be a bit of a problem dealing with this Firefly, but that Firefly picking up the Wolverine kill there is very nice. See what's happening in the middle of the map. It looks like a mix of Hussars forces here, IG-18, IG-33, a couple of Pack 38s supported by Panzer Grenadiers and the Panzergrenadier should be able to push through these AB Bren groups quite easily. Yeah, as soon as that IG-33 gets on target with the IG-18, you can pin down these squads very quickly and charge them with the Panzer Grenadiers, and not too much to stop them because the rifles don't pin down very much, and this pack is actually pretty low on HE shells, so if that runs out, I feel like the middle of the map could break very easily. Panzer II being brought up to the top side. That would be nice to use that to assist with the boy to Firefly there. I'm not entirely sure Thomas Spieler is aware of the fact that this Panzer II doesn't have any 20 more ammunition left, so it's just using its machine gun to engage the Staghound AA at the moment. Panzer Grenadiers here probably need to stop and engage the scouts, that would be nice. At the moment just being cut down for free. Wolverine also helping out there. Mosquito Pathfinder coming in again, and here goes the engagement onto the airborne Bren groups. IG-33, IG-18s taking on those. Mosquito Pathfinder's going to be bombing. Looks like there's Panzer Grens and the Panzer II there. Needs to make sure he doesn't run those Aufklärer into the flames. So that's one Bren group pinned down. There's no command units nearby, so that it can easily be made to surrender. Stug 3 being engaged by the pack. Got to be careful of that engagement, that's for sure. And goodbye to the airborne Bren group there as they are made to surrender. Mosquito Pathfinder comes into for a quick strafing run onto the IG-18, but again, needs to get that out of there, resupply those bombs, and use them more effectively on these tree lines. I'm not entirely convinced that these like lengthways strikes are ideal. You want to do them crossways down the tree lines, fly them out to the edge of the map, bring them back in, do a nice run across the entire tree line, takes the pressure off entirely. It's really nice. So boy to Firefly here, I think is trying to get into line of sight of the Staghound AA. Wants to take that out, but is now in line of sight of the Wolverines and is going to be, well, pinned down quite quickly if those land on target. Yep, forced to fall back. 13 AP power is enough to penetrate the 11 front armor, and the Firefly is bailed out. The Panzer Grenadiers are not faring too well either, so Thomas Spieler might lose control of the top side of the map there. Mosquito Pathfinder coming in again. Going to be landing a strike onto the Panzergrenadier and the IG-18 there, but well, that's the IG-33. Still, imagine if that strike came in from the side and went down this tree line. You would hit the IG-33, the Pack-38, the IG-18, burn them all out. A lot of fire support gone there. However, he has been lucky enough to force this Nebelwerfer 42 to sit right in the middle of those flames. And it's just pinned down. I think Assar noticed this, gave it an order to move away from the flames, and then didn't realise it got pinned down, so it looks like they're going to burn to death. And that's the Nebelwerfer 42 that is most desperately needed, honestly, to help push through. He might still be able to do it with his fire support, honestly, and with the tanks he has. But, yeah, imagine like a Nebelwerfer 42 on this town. Look how much damage it would do with all of the units so concentrated right now. In the middle, not so much. So maybe he is going to be more reliant on his IG-33s anyway. But here we are. Thomas Spieler is bringing up his Panzergrenadiers to push on to Humulus and Sonderkommando. think on the Allies side of things, teamwork is working. Well, teamwork's making the dream work, as the Allies are 672 points in the lead, and as you can see, looks like Humulus has spread himself pretty thin, while Sonderkommando relies solely on the top side of the map. But what we're going to see is some Jagdpanzer 4s coming up for Thomas. It's been a while since I've seen those. Look at that, on the road there, killing off the 6-pounder very easily. In the middle, looks like an IG-33 went down to the pack. The pack's being resupplied currently. Should be good enough to take out these Stugs if it's not being pinned down by the Panzer Grenadiers. Also, the Stug 3 gets on target there. Pack 75mm being forced to fall back. Airborne Bren Group have been taken out here. In comes the off-map from this 381mm off-map. One of the IG-18s goes down, one of the Panzergren squads goes down, but the rifles are still pinned here, and I don't think that killed enough infantry to really make a significant difference there. I think the infantry are well spaced, and if he can get them into the buildings, then they should be a little bit safer from that off-map, because there'll most likely be a second barrage incoming before he knows it. But Jagdpanzer here, really like the use of these. I think they are pretty much all he needs against the Canadians. You don't want to overinvest in like the Befehl Panthers if you don't have to. And Jagdpanzers, the 2-star Jagdpanzers, can be extremely strong, especially if you get some command units nearby. They become 3-star Jagdpanzers and they are deadly accurate. Their 14 armor really helps them out. 12 AP, more than enough to break through most Shermans. And the Shermans will struggle to fire back. So here now the Stug 3 charging down the Pack 75. And that's going to be very dead. Rifles are going to surrender to some Panzer Grenadiers here, and we're starting to see a push come through in the middle, which is pushing the Axis side to 52% territory lead. So things starting to swing back in the favour of the Allies. I don't feel like Humulus has done enough with all of these forces down here. Imagine how many points is invested in this town, and how much of it has been sat there the entire game, not doing a single thing. Yet, they do have all of the units necessary to make something of it, including the mortar, which should be using smoke. So Mosquito coming in to bomb the IG-33. Going to take it down to 1 health. That's rather unfortunate that he didn't get the kill there. Another off-map coming in. Looks like the off-map was killed though, so that's going to be the second out of 3 strikes. Third strike not going to come because the Willys OP was destroyed. Also going to see the supply vehicle gone there, and the Humber Mark III shouldn't last very long against the Stug 3. So just a massive hole being made in the front line here by Assar. Jagdpanzer goes down on the top side to a 17-pounder, and that is probably one of the only things that Thomas has to be worried about up there, and it's what caught him off guard. So we're moving into Phase C now. Things are only going to really get more Allied favoured, and more reinforcements coming in from Humulus to the bottom side. Looks like he's going for an attack down here. If he commits to this properly, I feel like he could completely break the back of Assar down here. Imagine just get these mortars to smoke off the IG-18s, for example, and then just charge up this infantry to the tree lines. He's got a sniper here now to cover their advance, so he should be able to make this work quite nicely if he commits the majority of his forces from the town at the same time. So all of these airborne paras that he has here, like 1, 2, 3 squads, 4 squads, should just be running forwards. He can basically leave the Piats here. They're not very useful. Flamethrowers maybe, but they might get caught out in the open. But the airborne paras, it doesn't matter if they get caught out in the open. They can just charge under smoke cover and really make a big difference. So that's an IG-18 gone down there, thanks to the Tetrarch Littlejohn's machine guns. He could really make a decent push out of this, but Tetrarch Littlejohn's not exactly the best idea moving forwards. Tetrarch CS's would have been really nice, but Tetrarch Littlejohn, maybe if you bumped into some armor, but he's not going to. So I'm questioning the choice of Tetrarch there. Either way, Focke-Wulf 190 going to be forced to fall back. I think he got hit pretty hard by the Staghound AA. But there is some AA coming up now from Assar in the middle of the map. Looks like it's going to be a couple of flak-fillings. So that's kind of skewed the engagement with the Spitfire Mark 9 there. Focke-Wulf 190 should be able to get on the back of that Spitfire and shoot it down. Unless the second Spitfire comes in to save the day, or the Spitfire manages to get far enough away. So Mosquito Pathfinder's coming in. Can they land these strikes correctly? I feel like they were a little bit off there. Yes, they are going to force a lot of these Panzergrenadier and Panzergrens to move around and run away. But it didn't quite hit the targets they wanted. Taking out this IG-18 would have been perfect, and it looks like the IG-18 actually killed off a Tetrarch Little John there. Mosquito Pathfinder is going to tear to shreds that Focke-Wulf 190. And that Focke-Wulf didn't get a kill, I don't think, in the end. Now the Bren group just dying for no reason. Get your mortar fire and smoke, lad. I know I used to make that mistake a lot, but come on. Ju-87 going to pick off that Tetrarch. Hussar's got to be pretty careful. He knows his opponents have the air supremacy. That Ju-87 could be a big risk. Ooh, lovely kill there from the Jagdpanzer taking out the Staghound AA. We now see Whitman on the field as well. Humulus bringing up some air landing. I think they've all just been knocked out on the road. Yeah, one of them looks to be killed there. Infinite HE shells coming in from Whitman, just going to be tearing those air landing to pieces out in the open. So Humulus has brought those up to assist here, but not really using them effectively. I don't feel like he's microing them very well. Tempest there, going to be pinned by the flak fillings. It looks like they brought them in to take out the Ju-87, but the Tempest flew over the flak fillings and ended up getting stunned and forced to fall back. So here comes the ME-109. Can it kill off the Tempest in time? Spitfire's going for the run. No, it can't. Tempest is going to get out alive. Looks like the Mosquito there came in for a bombing strike, got forced back. ME-109 engaging the Spitfire briefly. It looks like the ME-109 is damaged. He might be able to pull the Spitfire over his AA though, or over his teammate's AA, and make something of this engagement. Looks like the Spitfire is falling for that. Sonder Commando flying straight over the flak fillings. And they will stun it up very, very quickly. There's also a second ME-109 coming in, and that's going to get straight onto the back of the Spitfire. Goodbye to that. Very nice move there from Thomas Spieler to get back some air dominance. I like the investment of AA from SR as well. This Panzerwerfer is waiting and ready to rip to shreds these rifle squads that are pushing the top side of the map, and once that lands its shots, well, it's going to do the damage, that's for sure. Just reloading its rocket pods at the moment. Looks like the Panzer Grenadiers have done a good enough job to hold back the Bren group, but you can see how much damage was done here with just a couple of Bren group and the couple of Tetrarch Little Johns. Imagine how much more damage would have been done if airborne paras were involved. The mortar is firing away, not using smoke however, and that's just really unfortunate. I feel like Humulus has kind of dropped the ball here on the bottom side of the map. He could have made a lot of ground for his team. Asar is only really reinforcing the middle, where, you know, Humulus has now set up another defensive line. I think they recovered very well in the middle, but it's well over 50% now for the Axis, so yeah, they've got that to worry about too. Focke-Wulf 190, it might get shot down by the Spitfire. Looks like it probably will do. Yeah, it's just going to be falling back directly in the sight of that Spitfire Mark 9. And Mark 9 has plenty of time to shoot it down, and will do so. No AA on the top side, so not too much that they can do. ME-109 G6 is low on fuel. Spitfire's coming in for that engagement, but will fly directly over the flak filling, so the ME-109 might be saved from that engagement. Two more SDGavZs coming in as well. And they are moving forwards with like the fast move deployment. So they are going to stop and attack any units they come across. All of those aircraft being pinned down there. Spitfire actually going to go down to the damage of the flak fillings and the SDGavZs. So very, very nice amount of AA coming up now, which is going to definitely put the pressure onto the Allies side and their use of mosquitoes and so on. So, what can the Allies do now? The Allies need to make that push out the bottom side town. In the middle, yeah, fair enough, keep defending. They just took out a Stug, very nice. In the top side, keep doing what you're doing, get the 17 pounder to kill Whitman. That would be very nice. It's actually, I think, nearly in line of sight to do so. Yeah, if he just moved into the tree line about here, he will be able to get a shot onto Whitman and take him out. Which I think is what he is looking for there. Looks like these AA pieces are being used to help pin down a few units in the open. 6 pounder engaging the Jagdpanzer. And we also see Mosquito Pathfinder. Looks like that's going to bomb these Panzergrenz out of this tree line. Yep, that's going to stop them pinning down all those air landing. So Firefly forcing the Jagdpanzer to fall back. Looks like Whitman's gone down there to the 17 pounder exactly as I predicted. So still having some sort of, you know, decent engagements back and forth. I feel like the kill death of both teams will be relatively even, honestly. But at the moment, ground completely in favour of the Axis side. Saar's going to be forced to fall back his AA here because they're getting engaged by the Sherman 3. Lucky they didn't get killed off, honestly. Pack 40 went down in the middle there to those flames from the Mosquito Pathfinder. Now they need to, yeah, find a way to get past this AA for starters, so pushing onto that and killing off the AA would be very nice. Maybe getting the Mosquito bombers and Pathfinders to come in at the same time and just bomb out as much of the AA as they can would be a nice idea to regain control of the air, like entirely, because at the moment it looks like this Mosquito is going to go down to the G6R6 again, and that's just not good. Yep, there it goes. And yeah, having engagements like that and losing those expensive planes is not ideal. Either way, Pack 38 going to be hit pretty hard by the Sherman there. We've got the IG-33 being hit by a 2-star Sexton. 2-star Sexton also a very good choice of unit to take care of these flak billings. But I feel like with the tanks here, like the Stug 4s and the Jagdpanzers, they're going to be having a decent time on the Axis side of things. Like, I think the Axis can hold pretty easily. Seeing a Befehl Panther coming up here. He needs to get rid of this 17 pounder. It looks like he's going to choose the Panzerwerfer to do it. I think that's a very nice choice. Panzerwerfers are absolutely fantastic for cleaning out AT guns. There you go, the last rocket going to be landing bang on target, taking out the 17 pounder. That's going to make Thomas have a sigh of relief as it allows him to use his Befehl Panther more efficiently. So Spear Through It moving up, getting pinned down by the snipers here. Also going to be hit by the 3-inch mortar. Now the Stug 4 and the Pack 38 taking on the universal carriers there. I think the Shermans might go for a cheeky peek onto the Stug 4. Has a pretty low chance of penetration at this range, honestly. That is the full, well, actually has 800 meter range. So the Sherman's got about 12 AP power, so it's basically like a 2% chance to penetrate or something silly like that. But it's worth a try. If the Stug shows its side armor, then the Sherman has more than enough chance to penetrate. So up on the top side, still things contested. In the mid, Saar using his flak fillings and AA very nicely to control the airspace there and allow him to continue to push forwards. It looks like he's brought up a Pack 43 to join the push here. Meanwhile, in the bottom side, this town still full of infantry from the 6th Airborne, and it's just an absolute waste. I mean, you could hold this town with a skeleton crew and have all of these troops go elsewhere, honestly, but you should be making that push. I know he can't see this, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, he can't see any of this, because there's no, like, recon squad here. But, yeah, like, just get these Pathfinders forwards, find out what's there, use the smoke, make that push. I mean, he should have done it way sooner, honestly, because now Saar's well aware of the fact that there's stuff here. But again, he's got just a skeleton crew here because he knows that he doesn't have to worry about it. I'm pretty sure Humulus would have pushed by now. That's probably what he's thinking. By the way, Mosquito coming in with the bombs onto the Panzer Grenadiers there. Going to get rid of one squad. Took a lot of damage from that AA. So we'll take a little while to repair, which is nice. Pack 43 comes in, takes out the Sherman 3. Looks like the Stug took out the last universal carrier there. Achilles taking on the Stug 4 2-star veterancy fires very quickly when it gets into line of sight. As long as it's reloaded, can basically fire almost immediately, as the aim time is very very short on the Achilles and M10 if they are facing the right direction. However, they do struggle at like peeking other tanks because they need to turn their turret around, and the turrets are actually really slow. Firefly being hit there by the Jagdpanzer, but Jagdpanzer 12 AP struggles to penetrate 11 armor as long as the Firefly remains facing forwards. Panzerwerfer came in to try and get rid of this 6-pounder with its rockets, but didn't quite land on target. We're going to be seeing some Nebelwerfer 42s come out of a SAR, and that should dislodge these paras quite nicely. Yeah, looks like he's going to do so. I love these Nebelwerfer 42s, they're so damn potent. Also going to be seeing the Nebelwerfer 42 there take out the mortar and the 17-pounder. So lovely little strike there. Mosquito Pathfinder going down, or Mosquito Bomber going down as well. I think that was quite simply to the AA. The double flak filling and 3-star half-track combination really did the job. Tempest coming in on the top side. That's just to give him some air cover there. Does have to be careful now though, because Thomas does have, I think, 3 ME-109s at his disposal. So he could take the fight to those Tempests quite easily. Especially if they are relying on these 2-star Tempests, because they get quite a low amount of them, like low availability in comparison. I'm still really, I don't know, concerned about all of the points that are invested down here. I feel like Humulus kind of dropped the ball for his team. But either way, a Challenger and a Cromwell, Command Cromwell coming up to take on the Panzer Grenadiers. I think the Challenger's a nice idea to take care of the Stugs because of the range difference. Challengers can engage the Stugs at 1,200 meter range, and the Stugs can't. So even though they have this really high veterancy, it's not very useful if you can't even fire at them, right? So that's a really nice choice of unit, I think. Just needs to make sure that he has more artillery. So these sections are perfect for dealing with, for example, the Pack 43 and these flak fillings and stuff, and then he can start to get his airborne forces on the go again. But we're going to be seeing a triple Ju-87 come out. Double Stuka here. These are Stuka bombers as well, with the 15 HE power bombs. Not entirely sure what they're going for. Looks like the Pathfinders are going to see a Tempest come in. The Tempest's going to get hit by the AA. That Ju-87 going for the shot onto the 17-pounder. There you go. Is going to take it down to 3 health. Looks like one of the Pathfinder squads was killed off eventually. Ju-87 did take out the Command Cromwell there. The ME-109s are going to finish off that Spitfire. There's also a third Ju-87 coming in. Interesting. Not entirely sure why so many points were invested into planes from Hussar, but if it does the job, then that's absolutely fine. If you can take out the 17-pounder, it will definitely make things a lot more comfortable for him, moving his Stugs forwards. Artillery from the Sextons coming in, trying to take out these STKFZs. And Bomb is going to take out the 17-pounder, also stun up the Cromwell quite nicely. On this top side, Befell Panther, engaged by a 6-pounder, not really going to last too long there. That 6-pounder going to be pinned down and killed off very quickly. Just doesn't have enough AP to penetrate the front of a Befell Panther, so the Befell Panther can just sit there, take it, and kill things off. And I think at this point, Sunder's got to be very careful, because there's a very high chance that Thomas can break through there with his 12th SS. But I feel like things are kind of out of hand now. The Stug 4 took out the Command Cromwell there. There's 2 challenges here which could take on the Stugs, but they can't do it from close range. They just can't. A Stug 3 with 3-star veterancy is like a million times more likely to hit than a Challenger with no veterancy. And if this Challenger misses when it engages this Stug, it's dead. It's quite simply dead. It's also forced to fall back here by the Pack 43. Oh, this is just not good. Now that Stug actually missed, but the Pack 43, I don't think that will. Never mind, the Stug 4 beat it to the punch, and there goes a Challenger. Second Challenger going to suffer the same fate if it goes around the edge of that tree line. Jagdpanzer going down in the middle to the Firefly. Very, very nice. Firefly paying off there finally. It took so many shots from that Jagdpanzer before it managed to get that kill. I think they'd pretty much be fighting between those two vehicles for like the last 10-15 minutes of the game. These Nebelwerfers need to be resupplied. I like the use of these Sextons to try and take them out because those Nebelwerfers can be very obnoxious. But at this point, with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left on the clock, it looks like the Axis side do have this in the bag. Something drastic has to happen for the Allied side to gain victory from this. So it looks like finally Humulus and... It looks like it's just Humulus is bringing out his entire air force to try and get some bombs onto this AA. Oh, that strike is really nice. That will burn out the AA there and the Opa Blitz munition. This flak-filling might also go down, taking out 2 AA pieces. It would have been nice for this to happen earlier on, because next time he brings them in, it's going to be even easier for him to clean up the next two. And what you can do is you can bring in a fighter to like find out where the AA is, and then bring in the mosquitoes to just like bomb it straight away. And that is a really nice way to use the Sixth Airborne like Air Force to basically break through there. And if he took care of all of the AA, then he'd be free to like just bomb whatever he wanted whenever he wanted, and or wherever he wanted whenever he wanted. But unfortunately it's too late for that. 54% territory lead still in favour of the Axis, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Ju-87's coming in again after all of those airplanes were revealed. Ju-87 coming in. Going to be going for the shots onto the Challenger there. Ju-87 going to be bombing out the Pathfinders. Ju-87 going to be shot down by the Tempests. So this Ju-87 might get out alive, maybe not. I think possibly Humulus killed enough AA to allow one of his Tempests to break through there, and it looks like they will shoot down a second Ju-87. So really nice job there. I guess that's going to be a bit of a consolation prize to Humulus at the end of the game here. Getting his Air Force back on the go. Nebelwerfer there being hit pretty damn hard. I'm not entirely sure how he can see this. He can't exactly see where they are. I think he's just guessing based on like a previous barrage. But Mosquito there coming in with its bombs, going to take out Pack 38, and this is what I was talking about. Now the bombers are just free to hit their targets, but there's only 25 seconds left in this game. We're seeing the Panzerwerfers just completely stun up the Firefly here, force that to fall back. That's going to allow the Panther G to just fast move down the road, get into line of sight, and possibly pop the Firefly there. But with 10 seconds left on the clock, it looks like the Firefly may be saved by the bell. Also going to be seeing a Tempest coming onto the Ju-87, but 2 seconds left, and that is victory for the Axis side after the full 40 minutes. What a very, very interesting game. I think, honestly, Humulus, he could have pushed out of that town. I've said it multiple times. Use a little bit of smoke, get the ball rolling on that bottom side, force Assar to reinforce that instead of continue to push in the middle, and he would have been in a very, very commanding position. If we jump over to the team perspective, I can tell you that Thomas Spiller was the one who sent in the replay, and thanks to him for doing so. It was a very exciting one to watch, and a lot to comment on during the gameplay. So Humulus there with the 2,200 kills to 2,685 losses. Generic sort of 6th Airborne score, honestly. You tend to lose more than you kill, but I feel like there was like a lot of points invested into the town that never saw combat, and that's really, really bad. That's been the thing that's been in the game since like War Game. If you buy units you don't use, then they're not worth buying in the first place, and that's just how it is. I mean, you can claim that they were holding the front line there, but you could have done the same with one unit, right? As long as you're never being attacked or whatever, only one unit would have done the job in that town. You may as well have had all of those units elsewhere. Sonderkommando, great job. 3,020 kills to 3,685 losses. I feel like he lost a couple of tanks way too easily to a couple of tank engagements there. But in general, did a pretty nice job on the top side trying to hold back the 12th SS player. Got that boy to Cromwell kill early on, which was really nice, sort of relieved a bit of the pressure. But couldn't quite get rid of the Firefly quick enough before it did some damage. Thomas Spiller, fantastic job. 3,417 kills to 249, or 2,495 losses. I think, yeah, there wasn't too many mistakes on the top side. He continued to apply the pressure. I feel like some of the Panzer Grenadiers could have been fallen back earlier on. And when it comes to Isar, well, needs to watch out for that napalm. A lot of the units died because they weren't falling back, and yeah, napalm doesn't mix well with flesh. That's all I can say, really. Let's have a look at the kills. This is going to be the 17th or 6th airborne kills. That 17-pounder took out Jagdpanzer and Whitman. Really, really nice. That was the one that snuck into the tree line that I was showing the line of sight for. Really, really good job with that one. But as you can see, the majority of his forces not getting too many kills. Mosquito didn't even pay itself off. The Tempest maybe did with the Ju-87 kills. 6-pounder did with the Stug 3. But yeah, just a lot of units. Like, you want to see more infantry kills, a lot more infantry kills when you're looking at a 6th airborne kill sheet. In terms of losses, well, Whitman had basically a turkey shoot against the air landing there, and so did the Jagdpanzer apparently. Ju-87G took out Little John Cromwell 6 and a Challenger, so definitely paid itself off. Befell Panther, that had fun shooting up a lot of command Tetrarchs on the top side. And Stug 4 on the bottom side, taking out Cromwell and the Challenger there, as they tried to engage at a very short distance. Not ideal. But there you have it. Really, really interesting and fun gameplay to watch. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.